Welcome to CodeRush Feature of the Week. What do we got this week, Mark?
The Debug Visualizer.
Ooh, what's that then?
Well, I'm going to hit start and we're going to debug this. I've got some breakpoints in my code. The Debug Visualizer is a way of getting the values of variables, symbols, right inside the code so that you can see them. For example, I'm here at a breakpoint inside the start of this method called getHypotenuse, and I can see that I'm passing in 3 for the value of A side and 4 for the value of B side. Those are both being passed in, and it shows them for me, and it's easy to read, and those values are very close to where those variables appear.
Okay, so it's a bit like lots of little quick watch windows pinned in place.
A little bit, right? Except for they don't clutter up the screen when you're not in that method anymore, right? In general, right? We're not seeing them all over the place. Now I'm here at math.squareRootCall, and it's giving me that value of 5 before it's executed the line of code. I can drill into it by holding down the Alt key and hitting the down arrow, and now I can drill into the expression, and I can see, oh, it's getting me 5 because the square root is being taken from the number 25.
Mm-hmm.
And I can drill into that and see that, oh, I'm getting 25 because I'm adding 9 plus 16. If you'll notice to the right over here, we've got the expression tree that's just showing you what that structure is. And I can see that there are still child nodes that I can drill down into. For example, here, 16, that's coming from the 4 times 4. And the 9 is coming from the 3 times 3. Now, notice all of this is happening right next to the code. And if I come up here and I just hit the spacebar, I can just collapse all of that back away or build it back up using the down arrows or the spacebar, for example, to drill down into it. What's cool about it is the feature is very good at knowing where there's a white space on screen. And it only adds space if it needs to show you what you're interested in. So for example, here, it could tell that there was emptiness right underneath here. So we were totally able to show you these values right here without increasing line height, without needing to do anything to make room to show them. So it's pretty cool feature.
So not only are we predicting the future, but we're showing you the exact structure of the future, and we're showing you how it breaks down the various constituent parts of it and how that calculation is being done.
Yes. In fact, right here, notice that I'm at a new breakpoint. And when I was here and I stepped past this line, it gave me the value of the latitude and displayed it in red. And over here, so we're here, season, we're seeing nothing for it yet. There may be side effects with this function. And when the feature detects that there might be side effects, it gives you this option right here to click to evaluate the value. So we could go and click and we see that it's spring. We hit F10 to step over the line, and watch what happens under the word season right here. Look there when I hit F10, and now you can see the value is assigned over there to season. And now we're at the switch statement. And there's another cool thing that's happening here. You'll notice that the case block that's identified by the spring value is viewed normally, but all the other blocks are de-emphasized. And we call this dead path de-emphasis. The debug visualizer lets you see where you're going to go, again, predicting the future before you actually get there, which is useful in case it's a surprise, right?
So what you'd normally do is you'd be looking at the value of season, and then you'd be comparing it manually with each of the different cases that you've got, trying to work out yourself which one of those cases was going to be the active one. CodeRush is taking that necessity away from you and is showing you very clearly the path that is going to follow from here.
Yes, and it's because usually what happens is usually you don't do what you're talking about, right? Usually you're not in here. You might do this, but usually if you're at this point, you have a good idea of where you're expecting to go. So you don't actually, you're usually not here and then looking and saying, wait, what's going on? What's cool about this is if this is different from what you're expecting, then you'll see it immediately as you get to the line instead of after you hit F10 and you end up somewhere off screen in a place where you're not expecting to be.
Yeah.
That's why this is valuable.
Excellent.
So let's go ahead and continue to run. And we're back in the method again. We'll step through it again. You can see one more time what's happening as we move all the way across. And there we go again. You can see dead path de-emphasis now shows us we're going to go into the fall category now. Here we're just manipulating some strings. As we go through, you can see what's happening is the feature can add space beneath the current line and show you the values. So you don't have to bring up a locals or a watch window anymore. You don't have to move your eyes from the middle of the screen down to the bottom and back or wherever you keep these windows. You simply are just hitting F10 all the way through.
And in the default Visual Studio, if you did have those little things pinned on screen, that they pretty much sit over your code, which obscures that code from your view and stops you from working out what's happening next. So here we are moving the code just out of the way. You can continue to see every single part that you need in addition to all this new information.
And I'm not hitting any extra keys, and I'm not reaching for the mouse, which are often things that you do when you want to work with a watch window or you want to pin something, right?
Sure.
Now, the other thing that's cool is, so we've just stepped through this test reverse method, and every time you see something that is red, that indicates a change. So you can see where we started right here with essentially hello world backwards, right, in reverse.
Yep.
And you can see what happened here. Oh, we took off the exclamation mark or the bang from the very beginning. And then we prefixed a dot at the very beginning. And then we called reverse. And we got to here.
So unlike Studio, you can see all the historical points as well. So this would be one variable, which if you had a watch on it, would just be changing and changing and changing. You'd only see the most recent version.
Right.
Here you can look at how it was affected on the previous line and what that change was, giving you even more insight into where things happen. So if you're hitting F10 at a fair pace and you skip over the line you wanted to, you don't lose the information as you go through.
Right. It's not bad. Not bad. So here we're going to go into a method called rent a car, and I wanted to show you this. So here we didn't have extra space. This demonstrates how CodeRush is aware of where there's code. And what it did is it just increased the height of this line number 611 so that it could show you what the pickup time was and what the color was. If we can't show you anything interesting, we just leave it blank, right? So car, for example, doesn't have anything particularly useful about the way it describes itself.
Sure.
Right? Same with look.
But I noticed that in the case of color there, we're not just telling you the name of the color, we are actually showing you the color on screen. It's much more obvious.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what's happening. So you can see that color, which is nice. Okay, and so we can see our days rented is there, and customer, we're not showing anything for customer. We're just going to hit F10, go through there. There's our age. There's our years old. And notice we're here. So here's this great example of, wait, I was expecting to go inside this block of code, but dead path de-emphasis indicates very clearly that I'm not going inside there, that I'm instead going to be throwing an exception.
Sure.
And if that's a surprise to me, as a developer, I can hit Alt down arrow again, and I can look at what's going on. So I see that it's false, but I was expecting it to be true. I come down here and I can see this, and I'm like, oh, I see. So I have, notice, a true value here, a true value here, and one false. And notice that the false is bolded in green.
Sure.
It's not bolded in green because it is false. It's bolded in green because it is the only sub-expression that determines what the parent expression is going to be.
Yeah.
Right? Because these are ANDed and this one's false, this is the determiner of its parent.
So in this case, effectively, evaluation would have stopped at that point because we already know it has to be false. It doesn't matter what any further sub-expressions are. You probably evaluated the years old versus min rental age initially, and that was true, and that's fine. Then you move on to this middle expression where we determine false, and we don't bother with the third one because we know we're already at false. So that shows you you're short-circuiting in action.
Short-circuiting in action when every expression is ANDed, logically ANDed, right? But it's not always the case where you're going to have just only ANDed expressions. What's cool about this is that this logic it's generally hard for developers to do. Maybe not hard, but certainly it takes up some cognitive load to figure it out.
Sure.
Right? And the more complex the expression is, the harder it is to figure out which one of those are the ones that are causing the parent expression to be what it is. And what's very cool about this is it does understand Boolean logic, and it is able to highlight these for you so that you can see the problem when your question is, wait, why is this false? Right? So I move down and it says, well, it's false because this is false. And then I'd say, okay, I moved down. So what that does, it allows me to drill down and very quickly get the answer and not waste time trying to figure out what's going on here or over here.
Yeah, so you're effectively not just being able to break the expression down any way you like, but rather than force you to explore all the options and determine it yourself, we show you the critical path of logic, that which was evaluated to come to this conclusion.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful, beautiful feature. It's beautiful because it reduces the amount of eye movement required, reduces the amount of physical motion required, right? So we're not dropping our gaze to the bottom and back up. We're not reaching for the mouse, that sort of thing. We're also not having a huge cognitive load spent trying to figure out things that it can already figure out for you. Like where's the path? Where's the dead path? Where's the active path? And why is this Boolean value false or true? That sort of thing. Okay?
Yeah, very nice.
And that's it.
Thank you very much, Mark. We'll catch you next week for the next CodeRush feature.
For more Feature of the Week videos, click one of the 2 video links on screen or select from our playlist. Download and learn more about CodeRush from the DevExpress website. And be sure to subscribe to our channel to receive all the latest CodeRush feature videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.